First of all, thank you for showing up to my lightning talk session. It'll be hopefully a fast one. Creating Docker asset images for your Sitecore modules. Now, let's first say who am I? My name is Robbert Hock. I love to do some cycling in my spare time. I'm a 13-time Sitecore MVP from Sitecore. I'm actually one of the original founders of SUGCON in 2014 in the Netherlands. Did that over 6 years. And I'm, like most of you, proud community member. So I love the Sitecore community. On a daily basis, I'm operating as a freelance contractor, married, 3 kids, and as I said, love to do some cycling. So if you're into that, hook me up. Create a quick agenda for all of you. So first we're going to have a look what the module actually is, how I got the inspiration. Hopefully, there's somebody in the room that actually inspired me to actually write this module. How it technically works. I'm going to do a demo and some key takeaways after that. So what is the Docker Asset Image Creator? So I don't know, a couple of you guys attended already the previous session. Could you raise hands? Okay, so Arve already mentioned something about Docker Asset Module image creation. This session is about that. I created a project on GitHub, which is open source, which basically means taking a Sitecore package. So all you need is your old Sitecore zip package. Previously, we installed that through the installation wizard. With Docker, we have to do that completely different. And basically, the module, all you need to do is then run a PowerShell script. So it's not like a huge module, but I think it will help you out if you actually trying to make the transition from normal Sitecore MVC development, installing packages on CM server to Docker. So the inspiration for the module, Arve Mihaly, he created last year. He wrote down this blog with all these steps that you need to do. And there was Erica Stockwell-Alpert from Valier. She basically took the inspiration from him as well and created a similar version of a blog. But you need to go through a lot of steps. So that's something that I wanted to automate. So how it technically works, basically it will, if you run the PowerShell script, it will go out to Sitecore dev.net, download the Sitecore Azure Toolkit zip file. It will extract that zip file. It will then convert your Sitecore module that you have, which contains items and potentially applications, DLLs, config files. It will convert that to a web deploy package. And then it will create the asset image structure that is needed for Docker. And then it will copy over your converted content into that structure. So let's do some demo. So on GitHub, you go to my repository at KYNL, and there's this Sitecore module Docker Asset Image Creator repo. So you basically clone that repo, and what you end up with is a structure that you can see here on the left-hand side. You basically have a packages folder where you just drop in your old Sitecore package. I dropped in a couple of. I have more projects that are Sitecore related. Sitecore Identity Server Snitch. It outputs some claims from Identity Server. Arve was using in his blog post the expat builder, so I'm going to take that one for a run. And basically any Sitecore package is something that you can use. So now that we created, and let me copy this name, because in the end you need the name of your package file. There is a flaw, you cannot use spaces in. So if you want to run this tool, you make sure to actually get rid of the spaces because PowerShell doesn't handle that very well. So all we need to do is then run the create Sitecore module Docker asset image PowerShell script, and we basically pass in a module package name. In this case, it's this name, and now it will actually go out to sitecore.net, try to get that Sitecore Azure toolkit. I just upgraded recently, was using 2.6.0, upgraded that to 2.7.0, which is the latest Sitecore Azure toolkit on sitecoredev.net. Takes around like 60 megabytes. I'm roaming right now, so hopefully it will end up pretty fast. So that, yeah. So let's just briefly wait for that. What it will do, as I'm going to recap, it will now download that zip file, extract it, convert it to a like a web deploy package. It's extracting it right now, and then it will create the image structure. As you can see here, goes pretty fast. We'll scroll up, and yippee-ki-yay, we're done. So that's basically. As you can see now, it generated a new folder structure based upon the name that you passed in with some timestamp. Somebody actually made a pull request for that, so at least they can have like multiple runs. Because previously if I was actually creating a new Docker asset image for like a newer version of a module, it was actually overriding the old one. So now I'm basically outputting that to some kind of a folder. As you can see here on the screen, the Docker image actually has like a total different structure. So let me briefly just have a look, because I was actually now using like the expat builder. That's what I passed in. So if we look into that package, we can actually see like the normal DLL and the app.config files include like configuration files. Now, as you can see here, it basically copied that all over into like a new structure, CM folder, content. So in the end, Docker knows, okay, that needs to be content, and these are my files. And the web deploy package actually converted your Sitecore items into a DACPack file. In this case, the module only contains core database items. With 10.2 now, there is a new possibility to actually use items as a resource, which some attendees actually heard from Arve's presentation. I'm still doing, the module is still doing this with a DACPack file. So let me briefly scroll. So that was basically one thing. Now that it already, let me briefly just copy in another one. So it will, for example, this one. And so now I'm converting another one. It already downloaded that Sitecore Azure toolkit from dev.sitecore.net, and we're done now with another one. So if I'm now go to the SCW WDP folder, we can basically see that it actually created two subfolders, one for that particular module, one for the expat builder. Let's just go to the expat builder folder, and it created a module folder in here with that structure. So each folder then has a module folder. And here we can actually do like docker build --tag. And in the end, I want to push this out. So actually to Docker Hub. So I created a repo on Docker Hub, which in the end, so now I'm going to create an image, and that image then I can push that to Docker Hub in order to be used by. So I'm copying over this structure, and I give it a name of, in this case, this was my expat builder version 1.0. So I basically passed that in my tag name. So expat builder, like this was the 1.0, And I don't know if it's like a comment, but I have to look at it so basically pass in like a Windows version of like the base image, I guess, which is 1809 or something for Windows version. And this will fail, of course, because I did not add a dot of the current directory. So docker build -- tag, then I specify a tag name and into the current directory. Oh, and this is something that used to work last night. I'm making a typo here, I guess. No, it is. Okay. Yeah, I think this is the mistake, that character. Yeah. So I actually used a semicolon previously, and where is it? Yeah. Now I'm using a hyphen. So basically, now create the image. You can see it ends up here in Docker Desktop. So this is a specific version. It uses I'm not sure if we can actually, no. In the end, now I can basically push that to Docker Hub. Probably because I'm roaming, it will take a little bit longer. Oh, seems to be pretty fast, even though it's like 270 megabytes. It's actually using a very base nano server version of your base of the base image. Let's see if it actually it's actually pushed. Yeah, so now we have it at Docker Hub, and people can actually then use the whole layering in of the way you actually layer images in the Docker way. So that's not what this session was about. So let me continue with. So that was a little bit on my demo. So if you're trying to make the transition to Docker, make sure to check out this model. It might help you. And there's like good documentation on, especially how to add Sitecore modules on Sitecore on the Sitecore documentation side, especially for SXA, Horizon, etc. And definitely check out the earlier mentioned blog post. I'll post my slides on my blog as well. I already created a video on YouTube on what I'm actually presenting here, so you might recap that. And Arve also created and he even goes into way more depth than just my tool. He basically explains a little bit more about what's happening. And yeah, thanks. So if you have any questions, so do feel free.
Yeah, any questions? Because we've got some time.
Did I run too fast?
Yeah.
So in the structure, you see you have a folder CM.
Yeah. So there is also a limitation in the Sitecore package. It should not contain, especially if you want to deploy DLLs to the in the end the CD server. Yeah, you have to. I have not this module. It was more like a pet project.
Yeah, no. But
so
it's
somebody
can help.
Yeah,
with,
exactly.
Extending that part.
Because but then you need exactly to know which DLLs should go. Also, like maybe pre-execution script that should occur for like with SXA, you have all these Solar indexes stuff. This is primarily for like just normal Sitecore packages that don't have too much functionality.
Or sometimes you also have two packages, one for the CD.
Yeah.
And then you have to, maybe with a parameter or something, you can say it's for the CD or something.
Yeah, that's definitely, that's also one of the limitations currently. Yeah, so it's not perfect. But
No, but I thought, how do you
that's a good
deal
question.
With it? Because, but you can extend it.
Yeah, absolutely. I will. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other questions? Please raise your hand. Looks like that's it. So yeah, thank you, Robbert, for your presentation.
Thank you for being here.